You're watching WAGM TV8.
You're watching WAGM Television Presque Isle.
And now, your news source for Aroostook County and Western New Brunswick.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ed Walsh. Sue Bernard has the week off. Topping your news source tonight, a weekend of flooding has left one Aroostook community devastated. A state of emergency has been declared in Fort Fairfield, where millions of dollars in damage occurred on Saturday and Sunday. State and federal help is being explored to help residents begin the rebuilding process. We'll have more on that in just a minute, but first tonight, across the border in Perth Andover, residents are still in shock after a sobering reminder of just how powerful Mother Nature can be. Flags are flying at half-mast and funeral arrangements are being made for two residents who were killed when floodwaters overtook them near the Tinker Dam on Saturday. 49-year-old James Finnemore and 30-year-old David Moore, both Canada Customs agents, were headed back from the Tinker Port with an RCMP officer when their vehicle was forced off the road by rushing water and ice.
All I could hear them hollering, and there was the two fellas jumped out and tried to swim to the shore, which was useless in that cold water. And the little fella, he climbed up on top of the vehicle and stayed up on the vehicle and kept hollering, help, help, and they kept telling him down here, the police kept telling him, you know, that the boats was on their way. They've already notified them down there to get the boats.
The man on the roof of the vehicle was RCMP officer Shannon Ward. Standing in knee-deep water and avoiding ice chunks, Ward was able to hold on until help arrived some 45 minutes later. He's off duty for a few days recuperating from his harrowing experience. Meanwhile, funerals for the two victims have been set for Tuesday and Wednesday. Finnemore was the supervisor of the Customs Port in Perth Andover. Moore was the deputy mayor of that village. And now to Fort Fairfield, where the flood recovery is boiling down to two things tonight: effort and money. The cleanup effort is already underway. Funds for the relief effort are the next step. John Gulliver begins our coverage tonight.
It's a scene that won't soon be forgotten in Fort Fairfield. Over 10 feet of water on Main Street, people scrambling to escape the ever-growing river, and ice and debris freely flowing through the center of town. The water has since receded, leaving a path of destruction. Light poles snapped like twigs, ice chunks of enormous proportion, and a mess of every business and residence that was in the way.
I'm discouraged and I don't know where to begin.
The shock is starting to wear off for most Fort Fairfielders, but the reality of just how big the cleanup effort needs to be is taking hold.
You do what you do. It's happened, unfortunately, and now you got to get on with your life.
Most of the flooded out businesses can replace their merchandise, but for the records kept at the town office, they're one of a kind.
Our records, our vital statistic records that go back to the 1800s, that is our biggest concern right now because of the town history. So right now we are going to make efforts to get them sent to Vermont, and any damage that is done, they are going to try to restore them.
It only took a matter of hours for the Aroostook River to invade and retreat, but it may take weeks or months for the town to fully recover. In Fort Fairfield, John Gulliver, News Source. This is Bill Cook in Fort Fairfield. While the cleanup continues, state and federal officials are in Fort Fairfield assessing the damage, and there is a lot of damage to assess. The latest figures show 80 families received damage to their homes. 4 homes and 15 mobile homes were completely destroyed. In addition, 28 businesses were damaged. Governor John McKernan has already declared a state of emergency, an important step in the relief effort that qualifies the town for special state aid. Over the next 24 hours or so, called the preliminary assessment stage, officials will tour damaged homes and businesses with their owners.
We have to determine today, and the reason that we're here, is how much of that damage is insured.
And it's important for property owners to keep a few things in mind before their home or business is surveyed.
They need to document exactly what happened to them. And they need to document their cleanup process, because when we get in the recovery process and actually providing assistance, they'll need to provide the documentation.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency will then process the information and send it to Washington, where it's up to the President to declare Fort Fairfield a federal disaster area. If it is, people can apply for monetary assistance at the Red Cross shelter set up at the elementary school. Since the flood, property owners have wondered where the money will come from.
I guess you just have to play it by ear and get help wherever you can help. Get help because you can't do it yourself.
Alton Fox and his wife have lived in this house along the river for 17 years, but depending on how much money they get from the government, they're not sure if they can move back in.
Once Fort Fairfield is declared a federal disaster area, people here could begin to see some monetary help in as little as 4 days. Then people like the Foxes can begin to rebuild their lives. In Fort Fairfield, Bill Cook, News Source.
Anyone in Fort Fairfield with questions about assistance can call the following number. That is 472-3290. Now, the Red Cross is opening a service center to help residents who may need new clothes. It will be housed at the elementary school, and that will be open between 1 and 6 tomorrow, and then between 10 and 6 for the rest of the week. And by the way, officials say Main Street in Fort Fairfield is still closed to the public tonight for safety reasons as the cleanup continues. The 7 o'clock curfew also remains in effect. Well, flooding is a perennial problem in Fort Fairfield. A long-term solution may be the construction of a dike along the banks of the Aroostook River. State Senator Leo Kiefer, whose district will include Fort Fairfield next year due to redistricting, would like to see that possibility explored to the fullest.
Well, I think the state has to work in conjunction with the Army Corps of Engineers now, and I believe that the Corps is probably going to be the key to taking a look at how to prevent this in the future. It may even be that the river has to be dredged down below here. It seems that it isn't the dam over to Tinker that causes this ice backup. It seems to start by the series of islands down right outside of the cemetery, from what I've been told. From past memory, I believe the Corps originally did some engineering studies here as far as building a dike similar to the one in Fort Kent, and perhaps that's the way to go.
The construction of a dike or dredging the bottom of the river are both expensive solutions, but Kiefer says they may be the only alternatives. Well, the threat of more flooding is subsiding tonight. The water levels continue to drop on rivers throughout northern Maine. All watches and warnings in the county have been dropped. However, officials are still keeping a close eye on the Kennebec River. And still to come tonight on your news source, you'll find out how Maine ranks on a list of healthy states, and a proposed starch plant gets moved before it's even built. We'll show you the possibilities after this.
We're out here looking for people who have tried Mott's Fruit Basket, the unfrozen concentrate.
Yeah, I've tried it. I love it.
One can makes a whole pitcher full.
Just add water and stir. No more frying, no more mashing.
Well, it's concentrated.
But not frozen, with the bottle juice inside. Tastes like fruit, and more fruit.
There's an awful lot of flavor in that little can.
Once you tried it, you just can't get it off your mind.
In 5 great flavors, Mott's Fruit Basket, the unfrozen concentrate. Most of us are only really good at one thing. It's the same with companies. If you build cars and trucks, you're only really good at one or the other. Since we first observed that 2 years ago, GMC has become more than twice as popular versus Ford in Maine than anywhere in the nation. And GMC is Maine's most popular full-size club coupe. What makes more Mainers keep switching from Ford is one test drive. Why not try it? You too may say, it's GMC, your truck for me.
A friendly warning about the ultimate meat combo pizza from Pizza Hut.
You know, this pizza changed my life.
A meat taste so big, everything else will seem small.
I used to love a thick, juicy steak. Now it seems like a little hors d'oeuvre.
Big, thick slices of pepperoni. 2 kinds of Italian sausage.
And burgers taste downright microscopic.
This taste is so big.
It even makes my whole herd of prime beef seem mighty puny.
The ultimate meat combo pizza. Get one for $8.99 delivered. Any second medium for $5 more.
We're going to go meet some Cash 5 winners right now. Come along. That's 50 G's.
I won $50,000.
Wow, that is great. And they give it to you all in cash right there, right?
Yes.
You've been lucky enough to win.
Yeah, a couple of weeks I get $250.
Altogether, how many people do you think have won at Cash 5? A total of $250. How many people?
Maybe 50 people? 60 people?
Well, actually, it's 13,000 people.
Oh, go on, Jim.
I'd like to go on. Yeah, do you ever play the Cash 5 team?
I haven't paid the
Okay, well, good night.
Tonight, Easton Selectmen will get some bad news from the developer of a proposed starch plant. Hayes Gahagan has decided not to locate the plant in Easton, and instead he's eyeing a site in Washburn. It's the former RT French building. This afternoon, Gahagan told News Source there was a problem getting enough water at the Easton site. The Washburn plant is built near an aquifer, and state permits are still current. Gahagan will have to repay $85,000 to Easton. He was loaned that money to pursue the project. Washburn's town council will decide tomorrow night whether to give Gahagan a $100,000 loan for the plant. Hollis Greenlaw, Republican candidate for the 2nd Congressional District, made his first campaign stop in Aroostook County today. Greenlaw was in Presque Isle, Caribou to discuss his ideas on preserving and creating jobs here in the county. He says this area in particular has been hit hard with the closing of Loring Air Force Base and the impact of unfair trading with Canada, Mexico, and Japan.
In Congress, I will work for fair trade. That is getting Maine products into foreign markets and gaining access so that we can increase the productivity here in Maine and create jobs.
Greenlaw also said he would work in Washington to secure more federal defense conversion dollars for the area. A former legislative aide who pleaded guilty in Maine's ballot tampering scandal may face a hearing to revoke his probation. A probation officer says Kenneth Allen has failed to live up to the terms of his sentence for 2 counts of burglary and 2 counts of ballot tampering. The officer says Allen has failed to pay restitution, perform community service, or see a counselor. The motion also notes that Allen was charged with theft last month in Waterville. Allen was an aide to former House Speaker John Martin. Allen served 17 days in jail after pleading guilty to the ballot tampering charges. A new study says that Maine is the 17th healthiest state in the nation. That's up from last year's when we ranked 43rd. The study considers factors that reflect the overall health of a state's citizen as well as their access to health care. Minnesota ranked best on the list. New Hampshire and Vermont came in 2nd and 3rd. Well, you may have been one of the lucky ones who got today off because of Patriots Day. The holiday is observed only in Maine and Massachusetts. Patriots Day honors colonists who fought in the battles of Lexington and Concord in 1775. Because it's not a federal holiday, Mainers still got their mail today, but were unable to conduct any business in state courts, offices, or in local banks and schools, which all closed their doors to remember the Patriots' past.
I'm June Howe. I'm a hairdresser.
I'm Chuck Lamonte. I teach 2nd and 3rd graders.
I'm Liz Darling. I'm a marketing and promotion specialist for the city of Portland.
My name is David Handley. I help farmers improve the production of vegetable and small fruit crops.
Hi, I'm Adam Smith, and I'm a college student.
Hi, my name is Brian.
For home loans, car loans, savings, checking, and so much more. 500,000 Maine people, just like you, are members of a local credit union.
A food and beverage manager, and primarily a mother.
Should your name be on this envelope? It should if you're age 50 or over and thought it would be difficult to get valuable whole life insurance. This plan guarantees your acceptance because of a 2-year limited benefit period. Benefits won't decrease because you grow older. Premiums won't increase. It costs just $6.95 a month per unit. To find out more, call now.
Call 1-800-228-1200 and receive this free gift. 1-800-228-1200.
For the performance you need, take a look at a machine that's sure to exceed your expectations. Introducing the all-new Caterpillar 311 excavator. Power and speed are precisely matched using the latest in dependable computer technology. Superior operator comfort is achieved with a spacious, quiet cab featuring infinite adjustments for the seat and joystick controls. All of this combined with Caterpillar's quality and durability. The new Caterpillar 311. Experience it. To learn more, call us. We're Southworth Milton, your Caterpillar dealer.
Better quality makes Toyota a better value. Toyota Tercel is rated the best model in its class in initial quality. Better Toyota quality means you can expect fewer problems. The complete car cost guide, an independent authority on new car value, says Tercel will have one of the lowest repair costs of any car you can own. That's quality. Toyota. The car's worth owning. The dealer's worth seeing.
Well, it was a big day for Portland and Maine as professional baseball made its official return to the state.
6,300 people at Hadlock Field in Portland today, and of course the first time that professional baseball has been played in Maine since the Maine Guides pulled out a few years back, and definitely some excitement there. And it all began around 4 o'clock this afternoon when the Maine Sea Dogs and Albany Yankees got set to play their game. There's the parachutist coming in, and also Kathy Lee Gifford also had a chance to sing the national anthem. Frank Gifford also throws out the first pitch, which you're seeing right here, and the game is still going on. We'll have more details of that for you tonight at 11. The score 4-3. Albany leads in the 7th. Another sporting action now. The Boston Red Sox didn't get a wake-up call today. The Sox, who took on the Chicago White Sox in an 11 a.m. start at Fenway, were never in the game, and the White Sox used the bat often of Tim Raines, who hit 3 homers on the afternoon. And the White Sox go on to pick up the 12-1 victory over the Red Sox. Raines has 5 homers on the year now. All 5, by the way, have come against the Boston Red Sox. Frank Thomas also went deep in this game in which the White Sox jumped out early and never looked back. Chicago over Boston, 12-1. American League action this evening, just one game on the schedule. Kansas City and Detroit will play in the National League. Los Angeles will battle the Phillies. St. Louis takes on Atlanta. Colorado faces Florida. New York battles San Diego. And Montreal plays San Francisco. The Patriots' great tradition of the Boston Marathon continued today with over 9,000 runners taking the 26-mile jaunt from Hopkinton to Boston. And several records were set today. And there you see some of the runners who were taking part. 23-year-old Cosmas Ndadi of Kenya broke the course record in winning his 2nd straight Boston Marathon. And Ndadi crossed the finish line in 2 hours, 7 minutes, 15 seconds, just 5 seconds ahead of Andres Espinosa of Mexico, who finished in 2nd spot. By the way, Ndadi broke the record set by Rob Di Castilla back in 1986. On the women's side, it was Uta Pippig of Germany who won the women's division of the Boston Marathon. That on a course record of 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 45 seconds. 1992 Olympic champion Valentina Yegorova of Russia finished in 2nd spot. Pippig, by the way, won the race and set the record despite battling a bad cold. The old record was set by Joan Benoit Samuelson back in 1983. A couple of local runners who took part. Mike Mendonça finished in 3 hours and 12 minutes, and Connie Mendonça finished in 4 hours and 19 minutes. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight with the Boston Bruins looking to take a 2-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. The Bruins won the first game on Saturday evening 3-2. Other NHL action, the Isles take on the Rangers, San Jose, Detroit, Chicago, Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary are all in action. Celtics have the night off. Tomorrow night, the Green will begin the final week of the regular season when they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. They play 4 games this week. Celtics, by the way, coming off a 48-point loss to the Washington Bullets yesterday. In the NBA tonight, Atlanta will play Chicago, Dallas, Phoenix, and Golden State and the LA Clippers. The National League has suspended Reggie Sanders of the Cincinnati Reds for 5 games. He was also fined for charging the mound during a game last week. Sanders is appealing that decision. In news from the NFL now, the Washington Redskins have signed former San Diego Chargers quarterback John Freese to a 1-year contract. The Redskins had been looking for a veteran quarterback since releasing 1992 Super Bowl MVP Mark Rippon last week. Skins are also expected to pick a quarterback in the first round of Sunday's draft. The Atlanta Falcons have re-signed quarterback Bobby Hebert. The NFL veteran had become a free agent. Atlanta re-signed him to a 1-year deal that will pay him considerably less than the $3.5 million he would have earned under the terms of his previous contract. Philadelphia Eagles return specialist Vaisa Kahema has announced his retirement from football. He'll become a TV sports reporter in Philadelphia. Sekahema leaves the game 148 yards away from Billy White Shoes Johnson, career record of 3,317 punt return yards. And the Goldsmiths volleyball team captured the state men's championship finished 2nd in the state men's championship over the weekend, losing to the Townies from Lewiston.
Okay, and a big day in Boston. If you ever had a chance to be there when the marathon finished, it's just a complete uproar.
Yeah, I bet it is, especially if the Red Sox are getting done at the same time. Everyone tries to get there to see the finish, right?
You stay away from the subway. Rainey, thank you very much. Well, there's so many 2- and 3-year-old cars exiting the lease market soon. There'll soon be a used car boom. Looking for a clean, late model used car? You'll find many out there. Tonight, our Money Pro Steve Crowley says it's a wise idea to have any used car thoroughly checked out before you buy it.
It takes a sharp eye and a truck full of electronics to scrutinize any used car properly. John Chakowski has both and sells both under the name the Auto Scrutinizer. Here, John's checking to see if this car has ever been hit. He can tell. John represents a new breed of private portable auto inspectors. Check the yellow pages under the heading Auto Mechanics for one near you.
I make it convenient because I take my equipment to the car's location, do all of my inspection work on site, print off the reports for the customer, and give him all the information right then and there.
Well, there are many wonderful used car values out there today, but it's always wise to get an independent opinion on any car you're serious about. All this comes with a price tag, about $60 for checking out the engine and transmission, and about $90 to evaluate that car bumper to bumper. Mobile auto inspectors are a new type of business. Check references and certifications thoroughly. Make sure the job will be thorough and competent. Now, keep in mind, clean, late-model used cars sell for about 1/3 to 1/2 of what new vehicles sell for. So when you match that high-quality, high-tech inspection to a car, truck, or van you really like, It's money well spent. Full service also includes an appraisal. And John says here's the main reason for using a professional inspector.
So that they don't buy a car that turned out to be a lemon.
This is one service and business. It makes sense for the 90s. With your money report, Steve Crowley, News Source.
The Crowley Report is brought to you by Caribou Mattress and Furniture Outlet, your spring air headquarters.
Looking for furniture? Stop here first at Caribou Mattress and Furniture, where we set the low price and the competition tries to follow. Caribou Mattress and Furniture across from the airport.
Bankruptcy. The 10-year mistake.
I was told that bankruptcy was the answer to my financial problems, but it will stay in my credit record for 10 years. Now no one will give me credit. I'm having trouble buying a new car, appliances, or needed home repair.
Consumer Credit Counseling Service. The better solution to financial problems.
Their counselors will work with your creditors, help solve debt problems, and avoid bankruptcy.
Call Consumer Credit Counseling Service today.
I wish I had.
We've never had a better selection of Lincolns.
Or better deals.
New Lincolns with nothing down, no question. This is going to be a big sales event.
When we offer a Touring Edition Continental with power moonroof, leather, and keyless entry with nothing down on a 2-year lease.
For only $482 a month.
They'll know this is the time to get one.
That is a great car for the money.
When you can get all the luxury features you want with monthly payments you can afford and no down payment.
I call that a win-win situation.
At your Lincoln Mercury dealer, everybody wins.
Look for these specials this week at your local IGA. Boneless London broiled steak, $1.79 a pound. Fresh California iceberg lettuce, only 59 cents a head. Dollar stretchers this week include IGA solid white tuna, 99 cents with coupon, and IGA granulated sugar, $1.69 with coupon. Check your local newspaper for other specials at your hometown IGA.
IGA, we bring good things to you.
Well, I certainly didn't see any today, but both Rennie and Tony said we had flurries out there.
It was probably before you woke up.
Could be.
There were a lot of them around. Plus, it was on the cool side all day today, too. Well, it shouldn't be this cold this time of the year.
Well, let's hope it just improves.
It won't.
Oh, all right.
Hate to be negative, but taking a look at the temperature comparisons for today, had a high of only 41 degrees this afternoon, a low temperature of 34, and that put us a couple of degrees below normal. The record high for today was 63 degrees, and we set that in 1987. 16 degrees was the record low temperature for the state, recorded in 1985. Right now, the temperature has dropped off a bit to 40 degrees. Our humidity at 55%, and the barometer is rising. It's reading 29.88 inches. Wind is out of the northwest at 5 miles an hour. And from those snow flurries, we picked up a trace of precipitation today. Sunrise tomorrow is going to be at 5:38. It'll be setting at 7:26. Well, we had a trough of low pressure move across New England today at about 18,000 feet, and that brought us cloudy skies, the snow flurries we saw earlier in the day, and the cool temperatures as well. That same system caused some snow to accumulate in the higher elevations of northern New Hampshire and northern Vermont last night, between 2 and 5 inches falling in some of those areas. Meanwhile, it turned out to be a beautiful and very mild day all across the southern half of the country today. Temperatures in the 80s all through the central plain states, and it got into the low 90s in a couple of areas as far north as the central part of Iowa. Further north, though, some cooler air is coming down into the northern plains and northern Rocky Mountain areas, with temperatures falling into the 60s there, and there were some clouds and some showers occurring across the Great Lakes. Now, as far as tomorrow goes, we're going to be seeing more clouds move into the area after some partly cloudy conditions early in the day, and there'll be some showers breaking out in the afternoon as this cold front approaches New England from the west. Elsewhere, it'll be another mild day over the southeast, temperatures in the 80s down there again tomorrow, plus high pressure pretty much dominating the western half of the country, with a big ridge extending from the central plain states across the northern Rockies up into the southwestern part of Canada. And as we get into Wednesday, we're looking at the clouds to be right at the edge of northern Maine. We'll see partly cloudy conditions here on Wednesday, and there could be a brief shower around as well, and have the rest of the forecast right after this.
Oh, Merry Kitchen Hash. What I really have to say is you are my favorite partner. Your tender beef, Your fine Idaho potatoes. Oh, you and I would be beautiful together. I never want to leave your side.
Eggs complement Mary Kitchen Hash very nicely. So when you think of eggs, think of Mary Kitchen Hash from Hormel Foods.
Shall we say lunch then? Or dinner tonight, perhaps?
True quality is rare. When you find it, you value it and come back to it. Most Buick owners buy another Buick. The only question is model and color. Century's 90-plus years of Buick quality and all this Buick value makes $14,995 the deal of the century. Other cars may cost slightly less, but only Century is a Buick. Buy or lease, Smart Buy or Smart Lease, Bank Finance or Just Pay Cash, your main Buick dealers will help you find what's best for you. So if you'd really rather drive a Buick, now you really can afford a Century. Come take a test drive this week.
Loving parents who unknowingly adopted a severely abused child.
These children were sent to us for a purpose.
No one knew she was capable of murder.
She's severely disturbed. She's no different than a serial killer.
Well, that's what she could be if we don't help her.
Mel Harris and Mariette Hartley prove how important it is to protect our children. Based on a true story. Child of Rage. Tuesday.
This is Red Wing Week at Puzzles. Red Wing boots are on sale from $69.95 to $112.95, most styles. All this week at Puzzles in downtown Caribou.
The jet stream will continue to come down from a northwesterly direction, keeping our temperatures here a little bit below normal for much of the upcoming week. As far as temperatures go right now, most of the readings from the weather spotters are running around the 40-degree mark, between 4 and 5 Celsius in New Brunswick. And to the south, we're looking at 41 degrees at both Holton and Mars Hill, 8 Celsius at Woodstock, and 7 in Heartland. It's partly sunny still over the southern part of the state, with temperatures down there running from the mid to upper 40s. Now, looking at the forecast for tonight, partly cloudy skies, low temperatures from the upper 20s to the lower 30s, and we'll have light westerly winds. Tomorrow, it's going to become cloudy and a few showers around, nothing very heavy though. Highs will be in the 40s, and the winds will be picking up 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the south. Tomorrow night, some showers early, then clearing later in the evening, lows from 30 to 35 degrees with northwesterly winds. On Wednesday, look for a partly sunny day, a few more showers around, high temperatures running in the low to mid 40s, northwesterly winds, and looking at the extended forecast, partly sunny weather on both Thursday and Friday, high temperature around 40 degrees, and it will be falling into the 20s in the evenings. And as far as Saturday goes, increasing clouds, high temperatures in the low 40s, a low of 25 degrees. So not much precipitation in the forecast, but it looks like it's going to stay on the cool side much of the week.
And leave it for Saturday for the clouds to roll back in.
That's right. I don't really see much sun for the week at all. It looks like the air's going to be very unstable, partly sunny to mostly cloudy conditions.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back again at 11 o'clock with the latest news, weather, and sports. The CBS Evening News is next. Good night.
Opportunities for independence and freedom are available to Maine's disabled people and businesses from the Adaptive Equipment Loan Program. Individuals and businesses can receive long-term loans with favorable rates not exceeding prime. People and businesses can buy adaptive equipment, opening doors of opportunity for people with disabilities. Loans to businesses help cover the cost of complying with the new Americans with Disabilities Act, the Adaptive Equipment Loan Program. Call 1-800-499-AELP.
Replacing your old windows with Anderson windows is an investment in the future. And when you invest in them, your home will show its appreciation for years to come. Here's where to find the book that's filled with beautiful Anderson window and patio door ideas.
Anderson Window Truckload Sale going on now at Rathbun Lumber in Presque Isle.
This is WAGM's Jobcast, brought to you by Reno's Family Restaurant on Sweden Street in Caribou. This week's list includes an opening for an industrial electrician with 2 years of tech school and...
But it's not any average day. Fort Fairfield Elementary School is now...
People do make the difference at the Aroostook Health Center in Mars Hill. Our health center is home for 70 residents who need just a little care, or in some cases, a full complement of nursing services. Dr. Eric Nicholas and Dr. Robert Shaw see patients at the health center where laboratory, x-ray, and physical therapy services are available. Working together to plan your health care for the next decade and beyond. The Aroostook Health Center and the Aroostook Medical Center.
Well, this is what it looks like from about 34,000 miles aloft. The satellite showing a swirl of clouds up in our neck of the woods, cold front well offshore, and then a lot of clear skies over much of the United States and Canada. The precipitation with this storm system, really not much. It's really a double-barreled storm. Some light precipitation, showers and flurries in the Great Lakes, some more precipitation right along the coast. At the surface, we see one low here. The other one's just off our map. That upper air low will come across and give us some flurries tonight and tomorrow. Nothing really to worry about. And then a big area of high pressure off to our west. Now, this is a weather map. This is for the current situation on April Fool's Day. But on April Fool's, I kind of step out of weather forecasting and into sportscasting. Here are my 1991 baseball predictions. And if you don't like these, make your own. And if you're not a baseball fan, I kind of feel sorry for you. That T stands for Toronto. I think the Red Sox have an excellent team, but Toronto will just edge them out in the American League East. National League East, they got rid of Darryl Strawberry. I think they'll get themselves a pennant. Of course, Darryl went to Los Angeles. National League West, I think L.A. will pick up a pennant. My wife is a Cincinnati fan. She probably won't let me in the house tonight. And picking against Oakland in the American League East, be kind of like picking against UNLV in the NCAA. Not real smart, but you might be right, so we'll see what happens there. Tomorrow's forecast, back to weather. High pressure off to our west. There goes the storm to the northeast. Of course, that prediction probably makes Andy happy. He's a big Dodgers fan. We'll have a few flurries up here tomorrow. High temperatures in the upper 30s. Very small accumulations are possible. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, high pressure to the rescue. Forecast for tonight then looks like this. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries popping up, temperatures into the mid-20s. Tomorrow, flurries will hang around all day. High temperatures upper 30s, northwest winds at 10. Tomorrow night, the flurries die out. Low temperature 22 degrees. And Wednesday, a mixture of sun and clouds. High 39. Extended forecast shapes up like this. A lot of sunshine Thursday and Friday. Andy by Saturday, maybe some showers, but by then, temperature 50 degrees.
All right, we're glad to have you do sports. Just don't let rainy
Maybe rain will be
near
That's
weather.
right. He should do some weather tonight.
Thanks, Kevin. That's the news for now. We'll all be back at 11 and hope you join us then.
Walker Texas Ranger, sponsored by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
On the one hand, we gave it a wider stance for better handling, a computer model suspension, and specially designed 16-inch tires. So, a pair of these could come in handy. On the other hand, we've thoughtfully designed each knob, button, and switch to be easily operated while you're wearing a pair of these. New Dodge Ram, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Day 5, my private island. If there's something better, I haven't found it. Today, we were greeted by a goddess as we visited Royal Caribbean's private island. We returned to the ship about 4 p.m. I saw the captain on his daily walking tour. Tonight, I'll return to my cabin, relive today, and dream about tomorrow. Sweet dreams.
You've got some Royal Caribbean coming.
Bet you don't know what's in your cereal.
Oh, yeah? Try me.
Cheerios has added salt.
Salt? Are you kidding?
Cracklin' Oat Bran has added fat.
Fat?
Corn Flakes has added sugar.
Sugar.
But Nabisco shredded wheat has no added salt, fat, or sugar. It's made from just natural, delicious, 100% whole grain wheat. So what do you think of that?
Very good. Very good.
Great. Nabisco shredded wheat. It's just naturally good.
Got tangled? Get this. New Salon Selective Shampoo Plus Detangler. Now what cleans your hair, washes away tangles too. New Shampoo Plus Detangler in 3 formulas from Salon Selective.
We should have gotten a pizza.
Now $1 gets you unlimited toppings at Little Caesars when you buy 2 pizzas for $8.99.
Pizza, pizza.
In Inside a contemporary sedan, you'd expect a driver's seat to be tuned for greater support. It would recline and have lumbar adjustments for even greater comfort. And in a car this thoughtful, you might even expect to find a convenient place from which to conduct business. But this interior can't be found in any car. A car just couldn't handle the workload. New Dodge Ram. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Hungry? What? There's 3 great tastes at McDonald's. What?
Head to McDonald's for the big, the bold, and the tasty. Try the Bacon Ranch McChicken and the Bacon Ranch Quarter Pounder, each with Monterey Jack cheese, crispy bacon, and ranch dressing on a wheat bun. Add large fries and a medium Coke for an extra value meal. For breakfast, try the Western Omelet McMuffin.
Better hurry. These boats are late for walking.
If your bag is great values, come to the Sears Day Sale at Sears Brand Central. This Kenmore self-cleaning electric range is only $399.99 with digital clock and timer. This Kenmore self-cleaning extra-large capacity gas range is just $499.99. It's hard to find better self-cleaning ranges at better prices. Prices that won't hang around for long. So come to Sears Brand Central before Saturday, where you'll find Sears Day savings in the bag.
I come home from work, the phone's ringing, it's them. You know, those people who call you up saying switch from AT&T?
We got low prices and service you can't believe, yada, yada, yada.
They big, and they go on and on and on.
If someone calls offering you big savings over AT&T, don't take their word for it. Ask them to...
Put it in writing. Put it in writing.
I asked them to put it in writing.
Just put it in writing. Your true
CBS presents the newest in sports television. It's Eye on Sports, premiering with the spectacular Paris-Roubaix bicycle race Sunday on CBS.
Is Murphy obsessed with death?
It's coming closer with every tick of the clock.
In 5, 4, 3. Murphy Brown. Then, will an act of public passion upset John's election to the school board? Don't you people have a bedroom at home? All new Hearts of Fire right after Murphy Brown Monday.
The mid-size Dodge Dakota Sport V6 gives you a bigger bed than Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. It gives you a Magnum engine with more horsepower than their base V6s, the safety of available 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a standard driver's airbag, something Ranger and S10 don't even offer. So really, the only thing compact about Dakota is the price. Dodge Dakota. A little bigger, a lot better.
I rarely make snap decisions. For yeast infections, I want an effective cure at a reasonable price. My doctor says My Select 7 is just as effective as Monistat 7, and it costs less. Decision made. My choice, my cure, it's My Select.
Alternative math. 1 for sandwich, plus 1 hash brown, plus 1 coffee, equals $1.99 every day. Add it to your morning at Burger King.
We may not be the world's #1 fast food place. It just tastes that way.
Walker, Texas Ranger, will continue.
Can Roseanne really remember what happened to her when she was 6 months old? Is repressed memory real or just the latest in psycho fads? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Pete's World moves to a new time.
It's going to be like a yearly thing?
New time, new time, new time.
Oh boy, this is getting better and better.
Pete's World today, 7 Central and Mountain. Then, Dad's playing Matchmaker.
I wanted you to have a little taste of sweet potato pie before you, settle for matzo ball.
704 Hauser, all Monday. This is CBS.
Before Maine Employers Mutual, there was a lot of lip service that was given to safety. Our safety record at that time was disastrous.
The old workman's comp system would have put us out of business.
There were too many injuries and the system just didn't work. Maine Employers Mutual came in and helped us get to that next step.
Our injury incidence has dropped by at least 50%. Maine Employers Mutual is making our workplace safer.
Maine Employers Mutual definitely makes a difference.
If you want change, they're the company to choose.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands. the ships that go sailing somewhere beyond the sea. She's there.
The competition says they're getting better, but can you really get better than a Toyota? At Edmonston Auto, they ask you to compare the Toyota Tercel LS. It comes better equipped than Neon, Civic LX, or Cavalier sedan. And the Camry? 97% of Camry owners say they'd buy another one. 97%! Red Tag days are the best time to buy a Toyota. Lease a Tercel for only $169 a month, or the Camry for only $289 a month. See your neighborhood Toyota dealer, Edmonston Auto, 121 Canada Road, Edmonston, for details.
Caramel corn.
No.
Cookie dough.
You have cookie dough?
A weakness. She's ours.
6:30 Sundays on WAGM TV. You're watching WAGM Television, Presque Isle.
Some people will do anything to bring home the fresh taste of Chi-Chi's Chunky Restaurante Salsa. What they should know is they can get Chi-Chi's at the store. Chi-Chi's, the only leading salsa from a real Mexican restaurant.
Everyone is talking value these days. But where do you look to sort it all out? Right here. The Complete Car Cost Card by IntelliChoice, an independent research company. After calculating the 5-year cost of ownership, IntelliChoice named Buick LeSabre Custom the best overall large car value. Value? See your dealer today about value-priced Buicks and IntelliChoice.
Until my allergist told me. I never knew what a histamine blocker was.
Since Park Davis introduced the histamine blocker Benadryl, allergy sufferers have had a powerful ally. Because when allergens attack, Benadryl blocks the histamine in your body from triggering sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose. No wonder doctors have trusted Benadryl longer than any other allergy medication. When allergens attack, depend on the powerful protection of Benadryl, the histamine blocker.
Some people will do anything to bring home the fresh taste of Chi-Chi's Chunky Restaurante Salsa.
May I help you?
Salsa, Inspector. What they should know is they can get Chi-Chi's at the store. Chi-Chi's, the only leading salsa from a real Mexican restaurant.
Children of the dark, stricken by a deadly disease. Their town. We don't know what this is. Panicked by fear. Their family in a race to find a cure.
There's no danger to anybody.
Sunday.
This week on Dave, all new shows with Jack Lemmon, Ellen DeGeneres, Dennis Hopper, Ray Liotta, Raquel Welch, plus Lyle Lovett and Al Green. This week.
Abused from birth, she was capable of murder. Mel Harris and Mariette Hartley fight to win her love. Child of Rage, Tuesday.
A party of uncommon elegance.
$50 an ounce beluga caviar.
Big mountains of it. Requires a chef with the ultimate good taste.
Well, I heard you're having a little fete for the rabble.
How far will Adam go to create the ultimate feast?
Woo-hoo! How to chop you up and throw you in the bouillabaisse.
A tasty northern exposure Monday.
Would you use a deodorant soap on parts like these? On parts that are pretty? On parts that are cute? On the most sensitive parts of your birthday suit? You would if it's Lever 2000, because Lever 2000 won't dry your skin like the leading deodorant soap. It's got the most effective skincare ingredients, so it's best for all your parts, on all your kin, on any place that you've got skin. Lever 2000, the deodorant soap that's best for your skin and all your 2,000 parts.
Hungry? What? There's 3 great tastes in McDonald's.
What? Head to McDonald's for the big, the bold, and the tasty. Start your day with the Western Omelet McMuffin with ham, green peppers, onions, and American cheese on a toasted English muffin. For lunch or dinner, try the Bacon Ranch Quarter Pounder and the Bacon Ranch McChicken. Great with fries and a Coke.
Hey, you think we'll see Ronald?
Yeah!
Oh, yeah! They're going to McDonald's!
But it's not any average day. Fort Fairfield Elementary School is now the Red Cross Flood Disaster Service Center. It's open to victims of Saturday's flood looking for a helping hand.
Food, clothing, assistance with shelter, building repairs, occupational supplies maybe, medications that they may have lost if they're having problems, eyeglasses. You know, it depends on each individual case. Nothing left of the trailer, it's gone.
Federal and state emergency management officials are also based here. They're continuing their work towards putting a disaster plan on the desk of President Clinton.
It certainly looks bad, except it's one town, and of course, as you hear of disasters elsewhere, they seem much more dramatic. Sometimes they aren't. That's why we have to look a little more closely.
Being in Fort Fairfield, it's clear the major damage that an ice flow can cause. What's unclear at this point is the monetary value of those damages. Current estimates stand at about $4 million, and that's not including structural damage to buildings.
Everything that we own is on that truck being hauled away right now.
All of the business, all of everything.
Everything that we had inside that store is gone.
Donations of clothing, non-perishable food, and bedding are being accepted and distributed to flood victims at the Fort Fairfield Armory.
It's more convenient for them to come right at one location than it is to go 3 or 4 different locations. Right here we have their clothing, and if they need personal items, we have some of those coming in, and some cleaning goods.
Flood victims are now getting help, but it's important to note that cash donations are being accepted, but not at either of these 2 relief sites in Fort Fairfield. Checks can be made out to the 2 agencies that are authorized to take those donations. That's the American Red Cross and the United Way. Now, it's also important to note that other disaster situations like the Midwest flooding and the Florida hurricane situations have created some scam artists.
Right now, neither the Red Cross nor the United Way of Holistic is making any kind of phone calls. In fact, we do not intend to do that. So if it is a phone call asking you to make a donation for Fort Fairfield relief, you need to be very careful about that and double check before you make a commitment. And absolutely do not give your credit card or checking account numbers to anybody over the phone with regard to this.
No.
Jeremy, any word on how soon Fort Fairfield residents could see aid from the federal or state government?
Well, right now, government officials from both the federal and state levels are working as fast as they can to try to assess that damage. They tell me that it could be more than 48 hours, even longer than that, before they actually get a plan to the desk of President Clinton. That's where it would have to be approved to get any federal funds. So right now, it's still up in the air exactly when funds could come from either the state or federal levels.
Okay, Jeremy Diesel reporting live from the newsroom. Thank you. Well, as relief efforts continue in Fort Fairfield, WAGM TV is giving residents in the county and western New Brunswick the chance to help out. Next Wednesday night, WAGM will hold a telethon to help our neighbors in Fort Fairfield. We hope you'll join us for a special look at the flood and interviews with people affected by it. That's next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Well, Fort Fairfield residents and businesses aren't the only ones cleaning up after this weekend's flooding. About a dozen homes in Masardis were also hit hard by the rising waters of the Aroostook River. At one time, Route 11 was covered with more than 3 feet of water. Several residents in the area had to be evacuated to higher ground. News Source has a team on its way to Masardis, and we'll have a complete report on the cleanup there tonight at 11 o'clock. Well, the flags continue to fly at half-mast tonight in Perth and over New Brunswick in remembrance of 2 residents who were killed in the flood last weekend. James Finnemore and David Moore were Canadian customs agents who got caught in floodwaters near Tinker Dam. Funerals for the 2 are set for tomorrow in Perth and over. For James Finnemore, 1 o'clock Canadian time at the Wesleyan Church. And at 3 o'clock, David Moore will be remembered at the St. James United Church. Again, both funerals are scheduled for tomorrow in Perth and over. An earlier report that one of the funerals was set for today was incorrect. The murder trial of Frank Blackie is underway tonight. The 58-year-old Blackie is charged with shooting Kenneth Kirby of Linneas following a fight last July at Blackie's home in Hodgdon. A jury was chosen this morning in Holton and then taken to the scene of the crime. Bill Cook has the story.
As Frank Blackie walked back to his current home in Aroostook County Jail, the jury that will decide his fate was on its way to his previous residence. At the request of the state, the 7-man, 5-woman jury viewed Blackie's home, located just over 7 miles from the courthouse and adjacent jail. A view, as it's called, is rare, but Blackie's attorney agreed it was necessary in this case.
It tells them nothing about what occurred in the house, which is what this case is about. However, it gives them a picture of the house. I mean, they get to see the real house.
Police say it was at this house where Blackie and his friend Kirby got into a fight. Blackie reportedly got his gun and told Kirby to leave, and when he wouldn't, Blackie shot him. Kirby then left the house on a motorcycle and made it 200 yards before falling off. Police later found Kirby dead with a gunshot wound to the chest. Defense attorney Brian Swales.
They're just pleading self-defense, Mr. Blackie's claim is that he was acting in self-defense at the time that Mr. Kirby was shot. So he didn't deny that he shot Mr. Kirby.
The jury will hear opening statements tomorrow, and then the state will present its case. Assistant Attorney General Bill Stokes wouldn't comment on the case, but said he intends to call 15 witnesses. In Holton, Bill Cook, News Source.
State regulators have rejected NYNEX's plan to cut rates for in-state toll calling while boosting rates for local service. NYNEX proposed 2 years ago to raise rates for residential local service by 25%, or about $3 a month. At the same time, the company proposed cutting in-state long-distance calls by 15%. The Public Utilities Commission says the company failed to justify the higher residential rates and cited a voter-approved law requiring that local phone rates be kept as low as possible. Up next on your news source at 6, a good news census report. And we'll take you to a street in Presque Isle where sewer mains are a problem this week after this.
We've never had a better selection of Lincolns.
Or better deals. New Lincolns with nothing down, no question. This is going to be a big sales event.
When we offer a Touring Edition Continental with power moonroof, leather, and keyless entry with nothing down on a 2-year lease.
For only $482 a month.
They'll know this is the time to get one.
That is a great car for the money. When you can get all the luxury features you want with monthly payments you can afford and no down payment.
I call that a win-win situation.
At your Lincoln Mercury dealer, everybody wins.
Why in the world did nearly 20,000 people visit Maine Yankee last year?
Look at them. It's a good resource.
The view houses. The doctor says it's 50 races. And they go to school, too. It's awesome. Donuts like, why the heck these things?
The kids ask some tough questions.
I beat the computer bad. It's just completely cool.
Find out for yourself 7 days a week at the Maine Yankee Energy Information Center.
Look for these specials this week at your local IGA. Boneless London broiled steak, $1.79 a pound. Fresh California iceberg lettuce, only 59 cents a head. Dollar stretchers this week include IGA solid white tuna, 99 cents with coupon, and IGA granulated sugar, $1.69 with coupon. Check your local newspaper for other specials at your hometown IGA.
We bring good things to you.
Of all the things to worry about on your farm, insects, the weather, crop prices, and yields, you can cross rough-running machinery off the list. Just talk to Daigle Oil Company about Shell Farm lubricants. Daigle Oil Company stocks a full line of premium quality Shell lubricants for tractors, trucks, and practically everything that moves on your farm. Whatever your needs, the experts at Daigle Oil Company can help you out in the field. With Shell lubricants, you can start protecting your farm investments and stop worrying about them.
A Census Bureau report says Maine's population is expected to remain stable for the next 26 years. Officials with the State Planning Office in Augusta say the forecast could be good news for the state. With a stable population, there will be fewer new workers entering the labor force, but enough jobs to support the population. Because of growth elsewhere, the Planning Office says Maine's population ranking will fall from 39th to 41st amongst the 50 states. Well, Aroostook County's trash has become a hot commodity these days. First, the trash-to-energy plant is proposed for Easton, and now Ashland Town officials have unveiled a second option for the county's solid waste. They want to burn the trash and use the heat to dry the wood waste used by Alternative Energy Incorporated of Ashland. Alternative Energy uses the wood waste to generate electricity. A public hearing on the proposal is planned for early next month. As expected, the town of Easton has received official word from the developer of a proposed starch plant that the site of the project is being moved to Washburn. Hayes Gahagan told Easton Selectmen last night that environmental concerns was one of the greatest factors in the decision.
But the reasons for not being at Easton at this time are very compelling. They're environmental reasons, and they understand, as we do, that even though we'd like to be here, there's a facility and a resource available in Washburn which can get the regional project going a lot faster.
Well, we're obviously very disappointed that it's not going to be in Easton. We worked very hard to get it here, but we are happy that it's at least going to be in Aroostook County, and it's going to be a regional site, and feel very happy for the people of Washburn, I guess.
A study showed problems with controlling the amount of fresh water into and wastewater out of an Easton plant. Town officials in Washburn will hear about a proposal for their community at a meeting tonight. The Presque Isle Sewer District is having some problems with sewer mains, especially in the Cedar Street area. The 8-inch main can't handle the current volume of water, so workers have been pumping the water and diluted sewage out to alleviate most of the problems.
One thing we could do is simply put in a bigger pipe, a bigger sewer main. But the real problem is the sump pumps and the foundation drains and possibly some leaking joints on the sewer main that are letting groundwater into the system. So a better solution, but more difficult solution, might be to provide another place for the sump pumps to go, perhaps another pipe or separate pipe for the sump pumps and foundation drains. That would not only relieve the problem with the existing sewer, but it also gets some groundwater out of our system that we don't have to treat at the sewage treatment plant.
Workers shouldn't be needed at the Cedar Street location in about a week once things dry up a bit. Freeman says the problem isn't exclusive to Cedar Street. Several other areas need to be addressed as well. An EPA report released today in Washington ranked Maine 35th in the nation for toxic releases. The Environmental Protection Agency says the report for 1992 shows fewer toxic chemicals being released into the environment, although more are being generated by industry. The report is being hailed by the EPA, but critics complain that many businesses, including utilities, weren't included. Pulp and paper producers had the list here in Maine of firms that generate toxic waste. No county businesses were included in the top 10. Here's a look at your news source summary for this Tuesday night. A hearing will be held tomorrow to see whether former legislative aide Ken Allen will go back to jail. Allen, who was an aide to former House Speaker John Martin, pleaded guilty to the ballot tampering scandal. Prosecutors say Allen hasn't lived up to the terms of his sentence. CP Rail will make a decision next month on who will get to buy 201 miles of track that stretches from St. John, New Brunswick to Sherbrooke, Quebec. 6 companies have put in bids. And a group of Maine farmers and truckers are extending a helping hand to cattle farmers in Iowa who are still reeling from last year's floods. They've shipped nearly 4,000 bales of hay to help feed the cattle.
Cheers. And then this up the north. Constable Fraser, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
He's polite.
Only takes an extra second to be courteous. After you, man.
He's square.
So I wonder if you would mind washing the car for us.
Now that he's arrived in the U.S.,
Anyone carrying illegal weapons, you are under arrest.
he's showing why a Mountie and his dog
Thank you.
always get their man.
You realize I'm going to have to confiscate that.
The wildest new adventure to hit television heads due south Saturday after Dr. Quinn.
Hello. Spring's finally here, and the S.W. Collins Company True Value Coupon Booklets out. Have some great values, like a 6-inch porcelain planter. Have some wall paint on sale, only $5.98 a gallon, and over 600 colors. What else is on sale, Greg?
Okay, Sam, we have Miracle Grow plant food, great for growing roses or anything else in your garden. Stuff really works well.
How well does that stuff really work?
I'll show you.
Well, the Boston Bruins have a little bit of time off to try to get their skates back in shape for their playoffs.
But they do have tonight off. They're back in action against Montreal in just a couple of nights. Of course, the Bruins and Montreal, a big rivalry ever since they were 2 of the only 6 teams in the league a few years ago. And now as it continues to grow, they're still one of the storied rivalries in the NHL. And whenever they face, throw the records out, and this is going to be another great series. And, of course, the Bruins and Canadiens do advance onto the Forum on Thursday for the 3rd game of that 7-game set. They split the first 2 games at the Garden. Last night, Montreal scored twice in the 3rd period. Pick up a 3-2 victory. They used this goal from Paul DiPietro, and Kirk Muller scored a couple of minutes later in the 3rd period to key the victory. Patrick Roy started out a little slow in net, but had a great game, stopping 40 Boston shots. Montreal wins it by a score of 3-2. Other NHL action from last evening, San Jose over Detroit by a score of 5-4. The Sharks' first ever playoff game, and of course they're undefeated in the playoffs now. Chicago, Toronto, the Leafs win that one easily, scoring 5 goals in 20 minutes. Vancouver stopped Calgary, and the Rangers, no problem with the Islanders in the NHL tonight. 2 games on the slate. Washington will take on Pittsburgh, and Buffalo plays New Jersey. Red Sox and Oakland A's opened a series at Fenway Park this afternoon. What a difference 24 hours makes. Yesterday, it was the White Sox blowing out the Red Sox by a score of 12-1. Today, it was the Red Sox' turn to play long ball, hitting 6 homers, including that grand slam there. And that was off the bat of Scott Cooper drilling his first career grand slam. Mike Greenwald added a 2-run homer. The Sox hit 6 round trippers. Ruben Sierra goes deep on that one for Oakland. But Boston goes on and picks up the easy victory, 13-5 over the Athletics. Other American League action this afternoon, Detroit and KC are in the 7th inning of play with the Tigers leading. Tonight, Chicago will play Milwaukee. New York hosts Seattle. Texas takes on Toronto. California, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Minnesota are also in action. In the National League today, the Los Angeles Dodgers were taking on the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Phils looked impressive early in this game, but their bullpen, which many people predicted would be suspect by the end of the year, gave up the game-tying and game-winning runs. Dodgers came from 5 runs back, and they stopped the Phillies by a score of 8-7. The Dodgers go on and pick up the victory. Other National League action this afternoon, Montreal and San Francisco tied at 3 in the 7th inning of play. Tonight, Pittsburgh plays Cincinnati. St. Louis takes on the red-hot Braves. Chicago hosts Houston. Florida, Colorado, and the Mets and Padres are all in action. Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks meet this evening at the Garden. It could be one of the final times to see Robert Parrish in the Celtics uniform. The veteran center has indicated he wants to play another year, but the Celtics have yet to say whether they want to re-sign the 40-year-old Parrish to another contract. Other NBA action this evening, some important games on the schedule, including the Hawks and Knicks battling for first in the Eastern Conference. New Jersey battles Philadelphia. Indiana beats Washington. Minnesota takes on Miami. The Heat looking to hold on to the 8th and final playoff spot in the East. Detroit hosts Orlando in what could be the final home game for Isaiah Thomas in Detroit. And Houston takes on San Antonio. And other NBA action, the Lakers take on Denver, Seattle, Phoenix, and Utah and Sacramento. Well, a third member of Michigan's Fab Five leaving school early to enter the NBA draft. Point guard Jalen Rose says he will skip his final year of college eligibility to play pro ball. And Rose's announcement came a day after Juwan Howard also said he would leave school early. Jimmy King and Ray Jackson are the only 2 members of the Fab Five still eligible to play at Michigan. They are the last of the 1991 recruiting class, which reached the NCAA final as freshmen and sophomores. New England Patriots coach Bill Parcells is preparing for the NFL draft. That begins with rounds 1 and 2 on Sunday. Pats have the 4th pick in the draft following their 5-11 record last year. There's talk the Patriots might try to trade the pick either to move up or down in the draft. Parcells says that while there are only about 15 blue-chip college stars available, he says there are a lot of other good players that can be found by teams that do their homework. And the San Francisco 49ers have traded starting defensive lineman Ted Washington to the Denver Broncos for a 5th-round draft pick. Washington was the Niners' 1st-round pick in 1991, but he's recovering from a broken leg. Of course, getting back to the Patriots, the draft is a little slimmer this year in the NFL, but Parcells has been doing his homework and is pretty confident he's going to be able to get 3 or 4 players that can help the team.
Hard to believe that the NFL draft is just this weekend.
Unreal. The first 2 rounds Sunday, the rest of it on Monday.
All right, Rainey. Well, thank you very much. Well, you've heard it all before. A college diploma is no longer a guarantee to solid employment in your intended profession. It often takes a year of hard work after college to land the job that you've dreamed about. Our Money Pro Steve Crowley says perseverance and a plan are 2 keys to career success after graduation.
Scott Morgan's a long way from being an airline captain or even a first officer. After completing 2 4-year degrees, 1 in aviation, 1 in marketing, he's working as a lineman, fueling airplanes, helicopters, and all that flies, big and small.
I would say that I'd like to be here no more than 2 years. Assuming the aviation industry is kind to me and I can get a job flying with a company or as a flight instructor, preferably corporate.
Scott's goal is to become a professional pilot, and there's predicted to be a shortage of pilots within 5 to 8 years. But there's no shortage now. Most young pilots today have to flight instruct for several years at low pay to build hours and even be considered for a solid corporate or airline pilot's job sitting in the right seat. And all this means living on a tight budget now with a plan for living a better life later.
This company is very good to me because it pays a lot more than most fixed-base operators, and I'm able to save a lot of money because I am living at home, so I can pay off my loans a lot faster.
Scott's busy now, working on his CFII rating. That's Instrument Flight Instructor. And he might do a little teaching to build hours. But his 3 main concerns are to earn money here, pay down his loans and bills by low-cost living, and to build ratings and flight hours by flying on short hops as co-pilot on multi-engine business airplanes. Next time, advice for recent college grads on pursuing career goals and how Scott Morgan is well on the way to living his dreams. With your Money Report, Steve Crowley, News Source.
When you think about freshness, you think about foods like bread, probably don't know how important freshness is to your Diet Cola. Diet Pepsi introduces freshness dating, a date stamped on every Diet Pepsi that guarantees the taste you love will be at the absolute peak of freshness. Freshness dating from Diet Pepsi. This is Red Wing Week at Puzzles. Red Wing boots are on sale from $69.95 to $112.95. Most styles. All this week at Puzzles in downtown Caribou.
Robert Violet and the staff at Violet Ford in Grand Falls are proud to announce their Employee of the Month, Butch Parody. Butch has been with Violet Ford for 11 years, and he provides their customers with some of the best paintwork in New Brunswick. Butch lives in Grand Falls with his wife, Janice, and their 2 kids, Dennis, who is 4, and Renee, who is 2. You might find Butch on a bicycle on the roads around Grand Falls. He enjoys both touring and mountain biking, hiking, and nature. Congratulations to Butch Parody, Violet Ford's Employee of the Month.
Well, a real dismal day today, and I even heard some thunder early this afternoon.
I did too. It wasn't a big thunderstorm, but it was definitely a thunderstorm.
It woke me up.
I kind of figured you'd get up that late. It was a kind of a dismal day, kind of cool day too. You look at those temperature comparisons, a high of only 42 degrees today, a low of 28, putting us some 5 degrees below normal. 72 was the record high temperature for today, and that was set in 1987. 17 degrees, the record low for the state, recorded in 1961. The temperature is still at 42 degrees. Our humidity tonight at 67%, and the barometer is falling. It's reading 29.79 inches. Our wind is out of the south at 9 miles an hour. We did pick up just a trace of rainfall today. Sunrise tomorrow morning is going to be at 5:36, and look for it to set at 7:27. We had a frontal system move through New England today. That brought us partly to mostly cloudy conditions. There were a few light showers around, and of course a brief thunderstorm as the first front moved through the central port of the state. This cold front will continue to push to the east tonight and keep clouds over the area for the rest of the evening. Elsewhere today was pretty cold again up in the central port of Canada. Temperatures near Hudson Bay staying in the teens all afternoon, and a rather cool Arctic ridge of high pressure pushed into the northern plains and Rockies, into the central plains and much of the Great Lakes and Midwest. Temperatures under sunny skies all through this area are running in the 50s today. Meanwhile, the hot weather continued over the southeast and south, with temperatures from Virginia and North Carolina through the Gulf Coast states and into Texas in the 80s this afternoon. And a frontal system was causing some thunderstorms over the central part of Florida today. Now tomorrow looks like the temperature will be on the downward swing during the afternoon as some cold air comes in as the system pushes away to the northeast. That, coupled with a storm system moving across in the upper levels, means the atmosphere is going to stay kind of unstable, and that'll keep us partly to mostly cloudy all day long. On Wednesday, while high pressure brings sunny weather to much of the central and southeastern part of the country. And as far as Thursday goes, the cold air continues to come into New England. A strong flow from the northwest in the upper levels will keep our highs in the upper 30s to lower 40s as this Arctic high pressure ridge pushes from the Great Lakes into the mid-Atlantic states. And we'll have the rest of the forecast right after this message.
We're out here looking for people who have tried Mott's Fruit Basket, the unfrozen concentrate.
Yeah, I tried it. I love it.
One can makes a whole pitcher full.
Just add water and stir.
No more frying, no more mashing.
Well, it's concentrated.
But not frozen. When the bottle juices are.
Tastes like fruit, and more fruit.
There's an awful lot of flavor in that little can.
Once you tried it, you just can't get it off your mind.
In 5 great flavors, Mott's Fruit Basket, the unfrozen concentrate.
Better quality makes Toyota a better value. Like the value you will find with Toyota Corolla. With Corolla's better quality, you can expect one of the lowest repair costs of any car. And today, a 2-year-old Corolla is worth $1,500 more than a Ford Escort. Better quality, better value. That's Toyota. The car's worth owning, the dealer's worth seeing.
Hi, I'm on the way to Washington with an idea to make life easier for our subway customers. I'm suggesting they begin to print $3 bills with our founding father on the front. Because when you buy 1 foot long at regular price, you get the second for $3, the third for $3, the fourth for $3. The best thing about a promotion is it's creating jobs, stimulating the economy and putting great subs in the hands of our great country.
Buy one footlong at regular price and get up to 3 more footlongs for only $3 each.
Finally, airline food that tastes great.
For the rest of the week, the jet stream is going to continue to come down from a northwesterly direction, and that is going to keep our temperatures below normal right into the weekend. And as far as temperatures go from the weather spotters right now, most of the readings are running in the upper 30s to the lower 40s over the northern central part of the county, 4 or 5 degrees Celsius in New Brunswick. To the south, we have 43 degrees in Holton, 45 at Mars Hill, plus 8 Celsius in Heartland, and partly sunny skies over the southern part of the state right now. Most of the temperatures down here are running in the mid-50s, although it is a little bit cooler in the mid to upper 40s along the coast because of the sea breeze off of the cold ocean. Now, looking at the forecast for tonight, look for mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be running in the mid-30s, and the winds will be out of the south. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy all day long, highs in the 30s and 40s. Winds will be switching into a northerly direction as the cold front moves by. And then tomorrow night, partly cloudy, turning much colder. The lows from 25 to 30 degrees, northwest winds. On Thursday, look for a partly sunny, rather windy day, highs in the 30s, and the winds out of northwest 15 to 25 miles an hour. And looking at the extended forecast, partly sunny weather on both Friday and Saturday with highs around 40 degrees, temperatures getting well down into the 20s at night. And for Sunday, sunny weather, but staying rather cool, highs of only 42 degrees, and temperatures in the morning in the mid-20s. So no rain or snow coming up over the next week, but it's going to stay really cold.
Okay, so but at least we'll have some sunshine this weekend if you want to get outside, but just don't put on any shorts.
No, fall or winter-like weather still.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back again at 11 o'clock with the latest news, weather, and sports. The CBS Evening News is next. Good night.
This is WAGM's Jobcast, brought to you by Reno's Family Restaurant on Sweden Street in Caribou. This week's list includes an opening for an industrial electrician with 2 years of tech school and or 2 to 3 years experience in an industrial plant if required. This job is on a rotating shift, and the pay starts at $8.38 an hour. Also listed this week, a position for a community planner. This individual should have a college degree and 2 years experience in the land use planning field, plus excellent written and verbal skills. These jobs are also among those being listed this week. For further information on these or other job openings, call or drop by your nearest main job service office. They're open from 9 until 4 on weekdays. Jobcast is presented by Reno's Family Restaurant in Caribou. Try their homemade daily specials.
A friendly warning about the ultimate meat combo pizza from Pizza Hut.
You know, this pizza changed my life.
A meat taste so big, everything else will seem small.
I used to love the thick, juicy steak. Now it seems like a little hors d'oeuvre.
Big, thick slices of pepperoni. 2 kinds of Italian sausage.
And burgers taste downright microscopic.
This taste is so big.
It even makes my whole herd of prime beef seem mighty puny.
The ultimate meat combo pizza. Get one for $8.99 delivered. Any second medium for $5 more.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. With Serbian forces continuing their slaughter in Bosnia, President Clinton...
Grade 2. Then always write down the first and last name of the person who agreed to the price in case there's a problem later. For the news, I'm Steve Crowley.
This report has been brought to you by Levesque Office Supply in Caribou and Madawaska, your authorized Savin copier and fax dealer. Savin, we mind your business.
Well, I think the Maine State Housing Authority is a great place for single parents to get started with their first home. Like Patty and her 2 boys, you know, she may want to trade up in a few years. In the meantime, she's building a little equity in a place of her own, which is very important. Now, this year, we'll probably help around 500 or so single parents by making available an affordable means of financing a home of their own. But what I'd really like is for us to help even more people out there. That's what I'd like to see. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Living, loving, building, growing, hometown proud America.
Super Saver values this week. Fresh whole chicken breast only 99 cents a pound. California ripe strawberries just $1.29 a pint. IGA granulated sugar, a 5-pound bag, $1.89. And from the deli, KM German bologna, only $2.28 a pound. Only from your hometown IGA.
Good evening. The Duke Blue Devils and Kansas Jayhawks will be taking center stage tonight when they meet in the Hoosier Dome for the NCAA National Championship. Duke advanced to the championship game with a win over UNLV on Saturday night. On the other hand, Kansas continued its way to the final with a victory over North Carolina. The Blue Devils have been to the national championship game 4 times and have yet to win the big one. On the other hand, Kansas won the tournament back in 1988. Well, the second annual Northern Regional Special Olympics basketball games were held over the weekend at Northern Maine Technical College. 48 athletes from 8 agencies competed in speed passing, rebounding, shooting, and dribbling, and points were accumulated in the various categories, with all of the athletes receiving a gold, silver, or bronze medal. Kent Stevens of the Work Opportunity Center in Prescott had the highest score of the day with a 74. Also, after the individual competitions, the Opportunity Training Center took on the Madison Bullfrogs in an exhibition game, the second year in a row that the two teams have played. Madison walked away with a victory in a close contest there, and then after the morning session, the medals were presented to all of the Special Olympians. They all received either a bronze, silver, or gold medal. Congratulations to all of the athletes. University of Maine junior defenseman Keith Carney and sophomore right wing Johnny Ruam have been named first-team Eastern All-American. And also sophomore wing Jim Montgomery was a second-team selection. The annual St. George River canoe race was held over the weekend, and Holton's Fred Ludwig kayaked to first place. It's the second year in a row that he's taken first in that competition. And Loring's Monica Sorensen has claimed the Ladies State Singles Racquetball Championship over the weekend. Sorensen will now have a chance to advance to the National Championship in late May. Skowhegan girls basketball coach Jim McMichael has resigned. McMichael had been with the team for the past 6 years, and during its 6-year tenure, the Skowhegan team made the tournament all 6 seasons. Well, the Red Sox had Danny Darwin on the mound today when they took on the Houston Astros in Winter Haven. Darwin was wild, giving up 6 runs on 5 hits and 4 walks in 5 innings. The Astros were led by non-roster player Mark McLemore, who had a double and 2 singles, and he's hitting over 500 during spring training. After the game, the Sox made a trade. They sent left-handed reliever Rob Murphy to the Seattle Mariners for right-hander Mike Gardner, who was the Double-A Player of the Year last year. And general manager Lou Gorman says that he felt it was time to trade Murphy, who had had problems with the Red Sox last year, going 0-6, and not having a very good spring with the Sox either. In other baseball news, veteran outfielder Terry Schuler has been placed on waivers for his unconditional release by the Mets. The Atlanta Braves have cut shortstop Andres Thomas, who started for the team for the past 5 seasons. Also, outfielder Otis Nixon and a minor leaguer have gone from Montreal to Atlanta for catcher Jimmy Kramers and a player to be named later. And the Los Angeles Dodgers placed Oral Hershiser on the 15-day DL so that he can continue his recovery from arm surgery. Said it at the beginning of the playoffs, I picked the Duke team to win the championship this year. I'm 1 game away right now. I still think that they'll win the game. They'll beat Kansas tonight and capture the NCAA tournament.
We'll make a note and talk at the 11th.
Sure.
Thanks, Ernie. Well, it's April 1st, better known as April Fool's Day. Most of us were subject to some form of joking or truth-stretching today. Human resource experts say good-natured, harmless fun is something more workplaces need today. They say if the job's not fun, tension grows and work suffers.
You know, when we take ourselves too seriously, we get locked into things. And humor is one of the ways of shaking us out of some of the ruts that we're stuck into. You know, if our sense of self-esteem and respect for ourselves and the people that we work with and play with and our significance in our lives is such that we can trust and, you know, move back and forth and see ourselves the way others see us and enjoy doing that.
Some say humor can actually help productivity in the workplace. Less turnover and sickness are other possible benefits. But what may seem funny to us may not be funny to another person, so experts say for humor to be effective, it must be constructive. Therefore, racial and sexist humor are out. Well, Kevin, weather-wise, things have been pretty darn nice, and that's no fooling.
That's no fooling. There is snow in the forecast, but just a little bit. I wouldn't dump a bunch of snow on these fine folks.
This isn't a joke?
No, no joke. A little bit of snow. Nothing to worry about.
All right, we'll be back for the details after these messages.
Brought to you by Bates Mazda VW.
The Northwoods Garage and Gun Club hold their annual meeting April 9th at 6 in the Rec Center Conference Room. Anyone interested should call 328-7272 or 328-6661. To returning personnel, if you still have atropine injectors, you must turn them in to the hospital. If improperly handled, these items could be fatal. For more details, call 999-5552. The Loring Canine Section with the U.S. Police Canine Association hold a training seminar April 4th through 7th. The seminar covers different areas. All interested in attending should call Tech Sergeant Cotney at 999-4277. From the Loring Office of Public Affairs, I'm Airman Carrie Lawson.
At Bates Mazda VW, we have $1,500 cash back on Mazda 626 and MX-6, plus Volkswagen Foxes at invoice. Welcome back and a job well done, Loring personnel.
A small storm system is coming our way. It could try to fool us and dump a lot of snow, but that seems very unlikely. And once that clears out, the rest of the week ought to be pretty good for the first part of April. Take a look at the high and low temperatures for today at Caribou. 38 for the high, 19 for the low. We should be at 40 and 23 this time of year, so it was a bit on the cool side, but nothing we couldn't handle. 66, the record high. That occurred 5 years ago in the States. Record low at chilly 2 back in 1964. Last year, 45 for the high, 32 for the low. We had about 8 inches of snow on the ground a year ago. We're still over 20 inches officially at Caribou, but it is really diminishing rapidly, and there's nearly nothing in the forecast to make us think we're going to add anything to the snow cover for a while, hopefully a long while. Current temperature, 38 degrees, very dry air. Humidity only 30%. The dew point is 9. Barometer, 30.02 inches. The winds are calm. No precipitation today. It's been a very dry month, but of course, the month just started at midnight, so it's been a very short month so far as well. Sunrise, 5:10 tomorrow morning. Sun will set at 2 minutes after 6 tomorrow afternoon. Here is a look at temperatures around the county for today. The cool spot, 28 degrees at Eagle Lake. Everybody else is reporting temperatures in the 30s. The warmest in the Caribou, Presque Isle area, where it is 38 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy skies over the county, but no precipitation. Downstate, 37 with partly cloudy skies at Portland, partly cloudy 41 at both Augusta and Bangor. A few snow flurries over in New Brunswick. Fredericton reporting some flurries at 36 degrees. There's a storm out over the ocean. There's one to our west. These will combine forces to give us just some flurries tonight and tomorrow. Don't get too excited about them. And our weather future will be controlled by the jet stream. It looks kind of like a roller coaster. I'll let you know what that means for us right after this. Stay with us.
This is the deadline. This is the goal. This is the plan. Through April 10th, your New England Ford dealer. Ford Escort, 3.9% for 48 months, could also lower your monthly payment. So remember the goal, remember the plan, but most of all, remember the deadline.
Let's say you're hungry, but you want to stay under 3. A light mayo on a wheat bun. So when you're hungry, but 300 calories is your limit, you could sink your teeth into watercress, several pounds. Or try McDonald's new grilled chicken breast sandwich for a limited time.
People do make the difference at the Aroostook Health Center in Mars Hill. Our health center is home for 70 residents who need just a little care, or in some cases, a full complement of nursing services. Dr. Eric Nicholas and Dr. Robert Shaw see patients at the health center, where laboratory, x-ray, and physical therapy services are available. Working together to plan your health care for the next decade and beyond. The Aroostook Health Center and the Aroostook Medical Center.
Well, this is what it looks like from about 34,000 miles aloft. The satellite showing a swirl of clouds up in our neck of the woods, cold front well offshore, and then a lot of clear skies over much of the United States and Canada. The precipitation with the storm system, really not much. It's really a double-barreled storm. Some light precipitation showers and flurries in the Great Lakes, some more precipitation right along the coast. At the surface, we see one low here. The other one's just off our map. That upper air low will come across and give us some flurries tonight and tomorrow. Nothing really to worry about. And then a big area of high pressure off to our west. Now, this is a weather map. This is for the current situation on April Fool's Day. But on April Fool's, I kind of step out of weather forecasting and into sportscasting.
Here are my 1991 baseball predictions, and if you don't like these, make your own. And if you're not a baseball fan, I kind of feel sorry for you. That T stands for Toronto. I think the Red Sox have an excellent team, but Toronto will just edge them out in the American League East. National League East, they got rid of Darryl Strawberry. I think they'll get themselves a pennant. Of course, Darryl went to Los Angeles. National League West, I think L.A. will pick up a pennant. My wife is a Cincinnati fan. She probably won't let me in the house tonight. And picking against Oakland in the American League East, be kind of like picking against UNLV in the NCAA. Not real smart, but you might be right, so we'll see what happens there. Tomorrow's forecast, back to weather. High pressure off to our west. There goes the storm to the northeast. Of course, that prediction probably makes Andy happy. He's a big Dodgers fan. We'll have a few flurries up here tomorrow. High temperatures in the upper 30s. Very small accumulations are possible. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, high pressure to the rescue. Forecast for tonight then looks like this. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries popping up. Temperatures into the mid-20s. Tomorrow, flurries will hang around all day. High temperatures upper 30s, northwest winds at 10. Tomorrow night, the flurries die out. Low temperature 22 degrees. And Wednesday, a mixture of sun and clouds. High 39. Extended forecast shapes up like this. A lot of sunshine Thursday and Friday. Andy by Saturday, maybe some showers, but by then, temperature 50 degrees. All right, we're glad to have you do sports. Just don't let rainy Maybe rain will be near weather. That's right. He should do some weather tonight. Thanks, Kevin. That's the news for now. We'll all be back at 11 and hope you join us then.
This is WAGM's Jobcast, brought to you by Reno's Family Restaurant in Caribou. Here are some of the jobs being listed this week. An employability developer to teach employability skills and do career counseling. One must have a degree in education or social science or equivalent experience. And a plumber oil burner technician whose duties will include general labor, as well as plumbing and oil burner maintenance. License is preferred and pay depends on experience. These job opportunities are also being listed this week. Employers, if you are looking to fill jobs in your business, call the Job Service Office in Presque Isle or Houghton and list your openings where they'll reach the widest source of available labor. Jobcast is presented by Reno's Family Restaurant on Sweden Street in Caribou, where they'll build you a fine foundation for the day. They call it breakfast.
Shop Buzzle's After Easter sale with sale prices on all women's spring coats and dresses. Also, men's Florsheim and Red Wing shoes on sale. All at Buzzle's in downtown Caribou.
Melissa saw her mom take a gun from her nightstand while Ricky was on the bed. When Melissa saw the gun, she moved to an adjoining room where she saw her mother hold out the gun and shoot. Melissa says her mother called her into the bedroom and she watched Pat Hopper cover Ricky with a sheet. She says her mother suggested cutting Pinard's body up and throwing it into the fireplace. After sending the other children to a friend's home, the two of them hitchhiked to New Hampshire to visit Pat's mom. When they returned to Holton the following day, Melissa says the two of them dragged the body through the house to the woodshed. Melissa says she kept dropping the body and her mother would respond, "Don't be such a wimp, you can handle it." Melissa Hopper told the court she helped clean up Ricky Pinard's blood. She said her mother hung tapestries on the wall to hide spots of blood that could not be cleaned up.
I'll never get over. We were so close. But I just hope and pray that the good Lord will give her the punishment she deserves. And that Melissa does real well. Because I love that kid a lot.
Earlier in the day, the state's chief medical examiner, Dr. Henry Ryan, testified that Ricky Pinard had died of 5 gunshot wounds to the head. He said the manner of death was a homicide. Jurors also heard a taped police interview between 2 state police detectives and Pat Harper. In the taped interview, Harper said she didn't do anything. Andy?
Ed, how long is the trial expected to last?
Andy, earlier this week when the jury was being selected, Judge Paul P. Pearson told the jurors the trial will last for about a week. Today, Assistant Attorney General Jeffrey Yelm said that he will wrap up his case tomorrow afternoon, and Defense Attorney Bob Ward says his case should be wrapped up on Thursday. But there's still no word whether Pat Harper will take the stand in her own defense. Andy?
Thanks, Ed. The first public hearing on Presque Isle's proposed 1991 budget has been held, and city councilors are surprised that people didn't have more to say on the budget. But John Gulliver reports the April 16th hearing probably won't be so quiet.
The good news in this year's city budget is mill rates won't go up.
The city manager and council started the budget process with keeping the tax rate the same, and they seem to have accomplished it. This year's budget was produced in a slightly different way than last year's, taking into consideration revenues from reserve accounts, which had previously been considered receipts and not included in the budget. This year's budget stands at a little over $11 million. City Manager John Kelch was surprised at the minimal response to the budget by the citizens at the council meeting.
We feel it's an ambitious budget, and yet we think it's a very conservative budget in the sense that we aren't taking too many chances on running short of money or getting into monetary trouble. We're playing it conservatively on that end of it. And I would not be surprised to have a larger turnout than we had this evening. I just hope that whatever turnout we have and however many people are listening and following this, that they understand that we are trying to find the best directions, and we really do value their input.
Also at tonight's meeting, the council approved a loan from the Presque Isle Development Fund in the amount of $200,000 to Northern Foods to move the IGA into the old Zaire building. The move may mean an additional 82 full-time and part-time jobs. For the news, I'm John Gulliver.
A new jail administrator has been chosen by Aroostook County Commissioners. Last night, James R. Foss of Machias was named administrator after a unanimous recommendation by an interviewing committee made up of the county administrator and 2 local law enforcement leaders. Foss has been jail administrator for Washington County for 4 years. He was selected from among 3 finalists, and County Administrator Danny Martin says Foss fits the qualifications perfectly.
We looked someone with the type of management style that would suit our needs and would really be a hands-on type individual, one that could work for his supervisor, obviously the sheriff, and his subordinates, the correctional officers. And Mr. Foss from Washington County, and met all of those. And we're really pleased at the appointment and the fact that the county commissioners approved and ratified the position.
The county commissioners approved a $30,000 a year salary for the new jail administrator, but according to Martin, the actual figure works out to be around $26,000 because Foss waived the health care package. Foss will start his new job on May 6th. In other news from last night's meeting, the commissioners accepted bids for 3 new patrol cars for the sheriff's department. The department has decided to go with a new style of car, a revamped 6-cylinder Ford Taurus instead of the Chevrolets the department has purchased in the past. The low bid came in at about $14,000 per car. Officials say the major reason for the decision to switch cars is cost. And the new cars are said to cost a few $100s less and get much better fuel economy. Alleged irregularities in Maine State Lottery prize claims from at least one unidentified store had triggered plans for an immediate state audit. House Speaker John Martin announced plans for the probe to reporters this morning and then referred questions to State Auditor Rodney Scribner. Scribner, without specifying the nature of the reports, says he is investigating and says his office is reviewing the lottery's Pick 3 game, and that the matter is also being reviewed by the state's Attorney General's office. Lottery Commission Director Wallace Suley said he was unfamiliar with irregularities or with any plans for a state audit. This year's gay rights bill has suffered a setback. Lawmakers in the Maine House debated for 2.5 hours before rejecting the bill by a 74-68 vote last night. The Senate had given initial approval to the bill last week by a narrow 14-13 vote. The county's 3 senators all voted against the bill, which is designed to bar discrimination against homosexuals in housing, credit, and employment. Reactions in the Capitol were mixed today for supporters and opponents of the bill.
I was not surprised that it was a close vote. Pleasantly surprised, perhaps a little bit, that it went our way.
I'm disappointed. I believe in human rights, so I was very disappointed.
From the Aroostook County Delegation of Representatives, the majority voted against the bill with an 8-3 margin. Those voting yes were Judy Parody of Madawaska, Carolyn Mahaney of Easton, and Nathan Graham of Holton. The House vote was taken just hours after Governor McKerney threatened to veto the bill unless lawmakers agreed to a statewide referendum for the issue. According to Representative Parody, as a lawmaker, we should set an example. This is not tolerable. The legislature is not scheduled to reconvene until Thursday. The gay rights bill probably won't be reconsidered for a while. And the news continues after this break with a story on how parents can help teenagers boost their self-esteem. Stay with us.
You're one of a kind. You're my ivory, baby.
We've got a mega meeting scheduled for 10 a.m. sharp. Lots of last-minute details to button up, and the regular stuff is piling up. But Tom's sick and Judy's on vacation. Disaster ahead? No, just time to call the problem solvers.
Tempo Employment Services, at its new location at North Park Place, Presque Isle, offers permanent solutions to your temporary employment needs.
It's April. I haven't even started my income tax return.
Don't let April get to you. We're prepared to help you with any kind of tax situation. America's Tax Team is ready and waiting to help you meet the tax deadline.
H&R Block save me time, money, and they stand behind their work, too. No more worrying for me.
We're America's Tax Team. Put us to work for you.
The New Brunswick budget brought down today contains no new taxes on cigarettes, alcohol, or gasoline. But the 2,000 to 3,000 people with six-figure incomes have been hit with an 8% surtax on provincial income tax. And the tax rate for the 10 or so large corporations in the province goes up 1 percentage point to 17%. The only other major revenue measure calls for a 10% increase in motor vehicle fees. Total spending in the budget is $3.9 billion. Two peace activists are in Holton County Jail tonight, and 3 others were dispersed to other county facilities after being charged on Sunday with boarding a warship in Bath and pouring a blood-like substance on it. Police would not say why the 5 are being held in Aroostook County. 2 of those involved in the incident were Philip Berrigan of Baltimore and Thomas Lewis, whose address was not given. According to Corporal Joel Mary of the Bath Police Department, the activists may be recharged tomorrow under a different section of the law. A set hearing is scheduled for May 8th in Bath. Of those charged, 4 were male and 1 was female. The confidence we exhibit can be attributed to how we feel about ourselves. A person's self-concept or self-esteem determines many of our actions and reactions. Tonight, in the final part of his series, Parent Power, Helping Your Teen, Ed Walsh takes a look at the importance of self-esteem.
Self-esteem affects all the choices we make and how we behave. A person with low self-esteem will make poor choices because they don't feel good about themselves.
Parents can help young people, of course, with their self-esteem. They're the primary source of a person's deciding who they are. Everything the facts that we know about ourselves, everything on that self-concept is taught to us. And the primary teachers are parents.
Besides having the ability to teach some basic things and repair the damage done elsewhere, there are 4 basic aspects of self-esteem. There needs to be a sense of belonging. Young people need to exhibit their own uniqueness. Teens need to realize they are in control and that they affect their own lives. And children need a model figure.
Each student is the wind beneath the wings of each other, and also the staff is supporting each other. And the concept that they need to believe in each other, support each other, and believe in themselves, that they can make a difference in the lives of each other. I think that's where self-concept becomes the biggest, is when we help each other. By helping other people, we also help ourselves, and we grow together.
But parents have a good opportunity to teach them basic things and to help repair any damage that's done elsewhere.
If you're interested in learning more about self-esteem, contact ACAP's Presque Isle office. Their library has a number of books dealing with the subject. For the news, I'm Ed Walsh.
Teen Conference will be held tomorrow at the University of Maine at Presque Isle. These issues and many others will be dealt with at that time. Well, does it ever seem like you're treading water with your savings? You save money only to have taxes whittle away at your earnings. Tonight, our Money Pro Steve Crowley has some advice on tax-free money funds. And don't forget, if you'd like more information on his report, please send us a stamped, self-addressed envelope.
Tax-free money funds combine the features of regular money mutual funds and municipal bond funds. They invest primarily in short-term bonds for cities and states, so income is exempt from federal taxes. In some cases, state and local taxes, too. Now, tax-free money funds pay lower yields than their taxable cousins. They're currently yielding up to 6.9%, as compared with only 5% on tax-free funds. But the point is, depending on our tax bracket, we might come out ahead with the tax-free fund. As a rule of thumb, if you're in the 28% tax bracket or above, you'll need to figure the fund's taxable equivalent yield to decide whether it's best to park your money in a taxable or a tax-free fund. Here's how. Divide the tax-free funds yield of, say, 5% by 0.69 for someone in the 31% bracket. The result is 7.2%. That's how much you would have to earn in the taxable money fund to match the deal after tax. Now, since most funds aren't paying that much, the tax-free fund could be the better choice. The Donahue Money Fund report lists more than 200 tax-free funds. Those now paying the highest rates include names like Strong Municipal, Calvert Tax-Free Reserves, Evergreen Tax-Exempt, USAA Tax-Exempt, and the Atlas Tax-Free Money Fund. We can open a tax-free fund through a broker or directly with the fund itself. In most cases, we'll have to come up with a minimum deposit of from $500 to $3,000. And like other money funds, most tax-free funds come with a checkbook for ready access to our money. All the specifics are in the fund's prospectus. I'd get it and read it over first. If you'd like more info on tax-free money mutual funds, please send a stamped, self-addressed business-size envelope to me right here at the station. Or, for instant information, call our Money Pro hotline at 1-900-288-4PRO, 99 cents a minute. For the news, I'm Steve Crowley.
This report has been brought to you by Levesque Office Supply in Caribou and Madawaska, your authorized Savin copier and fax dealer. Savin, we mind your business.
Attention all Americans 65 or older on Medicare. Secure Care Medicare Supplement Insurance with expanded benefits is now available in your state. Whether you have a Medicare supplement or not, consider the expanded benefits, affordable rates, and personal service of Secure Care. Call 1-800-642-2800. Don't miss this opportunity for free information on Secure Care from National Home Life. Call 1-800-642-2800. 1-800-642-2800 now.
How does Jeep celebrate 50 years of discovering America? By making it easier for you to do the same. Because after 50 years, there's still no better way to rediscover the place we call home.
See your New England Jeep and Eagle dealer now. Shop Buzzle's After Easter sale with sale prices on all women's spring coats and dresses. Also, men's Florsheim and Red Wing shoes on sale. All at Buzzle's in downtown Caribou.
Good evening. The Duke Blue Devils are continuing to celebrate its first ever NCAA basketball title. Duke held off Kansas last night in the final win of the game, and Coach Mike Krzyzewski, of course, was very happy. Bobby Hurley to Grant Hill, nice play. Hill goes up high and puts it down for a couple points. And on the whole, Hurley, a great game, played every minute of the contest. And now on the other end, Hurley with a pass to Brad Davis for the slam. And Jordan cuts the lead here to make it close. I made it 70-65. But Duke goes on and picks up the 72-65 win and the first ever NCAA title for Duke. Well, the University of Maine Presque Isle softball team is now 1-1 on its road trip. The Owls stopped Ocean County College of New Jersey 12-2 today. Beth Claro gave up 4 hits and picking up the win, and was also the offensive hero, going 2 for 4 with 2 ribbies. Yesterday, the Owls were stopped by Rutgers College 6-2. Well, the Major League Umpires Association has filed unfair labor practice charges against American and National League clubs. Union head Richie Phillips says the umps have yet to receive opening day assignments and claimed that the owners are set to start the season next week with what he terms scabs. Robert Keel, the negotiator for the 2 leagues, says there were preliminary plans if talks break down. The umpires will continue working exhibition games and hope to cash in on the players' spiraling salaries. And so far, the umpires make between $40,000 and $105,000 a season, while the average player salary is at $1 million, is well over $500,000 annually. Well, the Red Sox take on the Cincinnati Reds as they continue Grapefruit League play this evening. Yesterday, the Sox cut their roster to 30 players among the group sent to the minors, rookies Mo Vaughn and Phil Plantier. Also sent to Pawtucket infielder outfielder Mike Bremley, along with lefty Tony Fonses, rookie catcher Tony Pratt, and right-hander Darrell Irvin. Well, the New England Patriots have signed a couple of free agents today, quarterback Hugh Millen and running backs Ivy Joe Hunter and Victor Jones. Millen led the Falcons to 2 wins in the final weeks of the season last year. He's entering his 5th NFL season after completing 34 of 65 passes last year. 24-year-old Hunter also joined the Colts in 1989 and was part of their special team. The L.A. Rams have signed longtime New England Patriots running back Mosi Tutupu as a free agent Plan B. Tutupu spent all of his career with the Patriots. Another Plan B signings, the Cleveland Browns have signed former 2-time Pro Bowl running back Joe Morris and 9 other players.
Well, the Celtics are back in action tonight when they're in action against New Jersey at the Meadowlands. In the NBA tonight, Detroit takes on Charlotte, Milwaukee plays Philadelphia, Cleveland takes on Washington, Portland meets Minnesota, the Lakers take on San Antonio, Orlando meets Chicago, Dallas hosts Denver, Utah takes on Phoenix, and Miami in action against Sacramento. Well, the Express meets Express Junior this evening in an exhibition game in Austin, Texas. That's when Nolan Ryan will take on the University of Texas Longhorns, and on the mound for the Horns will be Ryan's 18-year-old son, Reed. Well, citing a personality clash with manager Bobby Valentine, outfielder Pete Incaviglia says he plans to grieve last Friday's release from the Texas Rangers. The Rangers contend they tried to trade the slugger and that they waived him because of unhappiness with his role with the team. Colorado newspaper says Bertram Lee has been ousted as managing general partner of the Denver Nuggets after failing to meet financial obligations. According to the report, Lee failed to contribute his share of the $5 million payment. Three unnamed NBA sources say that he will continue as a minority owner, but he will no longer have control of the club. Of course, last night, Duke's big win over Kansas. Of course, I'm trying to blow my own horn, but before the playoffs even started, I picked Duke as the national champion. Funny, I was going to mention that. Were you?
Guess I don't have to anymore.
Great game last night, though. Duke really played well.
All right, thanks. Well, a Caribou woman has been chosen Merit Mother of the Year by the Maine Mothers Association. 87-year-old Alina Sullivan is the mother of 13 children. She has 38 grandchildren, 81 great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-grandchildren. And if that's not enough to keep her busy, Sullivan is also active in her church and spends time volunteering at Cary Medical Center and the Caribou Nursing Home. She says motherhood has changed over the years.
I think it's tougher now than it was in my days.
How so?
I think I was more happier then, and there's so much going on now. You know, they think they got to go to everything and do everything the rest does, you know.
Sullivan was nominated as Mother of the Year by her son, Ronald.
She's a great mother, and we felt that this would be the great crowning of all of her volunteer work she's done, to receive an award like this to the community and especially to the family and then to the church so many years. And this would be great for her. She deserves it.
Sullivan will be installed as Mother of the Year by Governor John McKernan at a silver tea at the Blaine House tomorrow. Later this month, Sullivan will go to St. Louis to compete with mothers from all over the U.S. for the national title of Mother of the Year. We wish her the best. Well, Kevin, if you keep up this good work, you might be up for Meteorologist of the Year.
Well, I'm not going to accept that award because the bad weather then could be blamed on me as well. And eventually, this nice weather will turn bad, but really the next few days look pretty nice.
All right, we'll be back with the details after these messages.
The Loring Alert, brought to you by Bates Mazda VW.
The Northwoods Garage and Gun Club hold their annual meeting April 9th at 6 in the Rec Center Conference Room. Anyone interested should call 328-7272 or 328-6661. To returning personnel, if you still have atropine injectors, you must turn them in to the hospital. If improperly handled, these items could be fatal. For more details, call 999-5552. The Loring Canine Section with the U.S. Police Canine Association hold a training seminar April 4th through 7th. The seminar covers different areas. All interested in attending should call Tech Sergeant Cotney at 999-4277. From the Loring Office of Public Affairs, I'm Airman Carrie Lawson.
At Bates Mazda VW, we have $1,500 cash back on Mazda 626 and MX-6, plus Volkswagen Foxes that invoice. Welcome back and a job well done, Loring personnel.
Let's say you're hungry, but you want to stay under 300 calories. You could try gumdrops, all 9 of them. Or try McDonald's new grilled chicken breast sandwich. A grilled chicken breast fillet, ripe tomato, crisp lettuce, and your choice of barbecue sauce, honey mustard, or light mayo on a wheat bun. So when you're hungry but 300 calories is your limit, you could sink your teeth into watercress, several pounds. Or try McDonald's new grilled chicken breast sandwich for a limited time.
Well, it turns out I was the April Fool yesterday. Low pressure really did not develop the way we thought it would. Therefore, very few snow flurries around here. A good deal of sunshine. There could still be a stray flurry around tonight. Otherwise, some pretty nice weather settling in as we should see a warming trend. Very slow and easy on this warming trend, though, and no major rainstorms in sight. Those are both good bits of news because there is a lot of water, a lot of snow out there, and a lot of ice in the rivers. Watching the situation very carefully, there is still a flooding potential out there, and hopefully we can keep all this stuff from breaking loose at one time. Let's take a look. The high and low temperatures for today at Caribou, 44 and 20. The high a little bit warmer than I thought, the low a little bit colder because we did not have quite as much cloud cover. 54, the record high for the state set back in 1980, and a very significant record low, 2 below zero, set back in 1964. This is the latest in history at Caribou. The temperature went below zero, so we can pretty much breathe a sigh of relief that we've seen the last of the below zero temperatures for this season anyway. Last year in the state, 39 and 33. Current temperature, 39 degrees, humidity 60% at Caribou. The barometer rising, winds light from the west. I saw a few snowflakes today, but no precipitation officially at Caribou. Sunrise, 5:18 tomorrow morning. Sun will set at 4 minutes after 6 tomorrow afternoon. Here is a look at temperatures around the county. They range from 32 degrees at Eagle Lake to 44 degrees at Woodstock. Most places are pretty close to the 40-degree mark with a mixture of clear skies and clouds out there. Downstate, 49 at Bangor, 48 at Augusta. Portland and Fredericton share, that is, 45-degree mark. Let's take a look backwards at March 1991 before we get too deep into April here. The average high was 36, the average low was 18. Those are about 3 degrees above normal. Third wettest March on record, 4.71 inches. Snowfall of 24 inches, about 4 inches above normal. The warmest temperatures 50, the coldest 1 degree above zero. It never went below zero. All these dates in green were precipitation records. Stick around because I will have the forecast for the next 30 and 90 days right after this. Stay with us.
It's no secret why some room additions outshine others. Discover the beauty of Anderson windows and patio doors. A beauty that seems to get better with age. Here's where to find the book that's filled with beautiful Anderson window and patio door ideas.
Call 1-800-426-4261 for the names of retailers where you can get your copy of the Anderson Idea Book.
Living, loving, building, growing, hometown proud America.
Dollar stretcher coupons this week. Campbell's tomato soup, 10.8-ounce can, only 29 cents with coupon. 3 Diamond solid white tuna water pack, 6.5-ounce can, just 99 cents with coupon. And Prince elbow macaroni, a 3-pound box, only 99 cents with coupon. Only from your hometown IGA.
From the L.S. Hall Company, a free gift for you. Estee Lauder Self-Starters, the making of a new you designed to refresh, caress, and color. Yours with any Estee Lauder purchase of $12.50 or more from the L.S. Hall Company, downtown Caribou.
I'm a forecasting fool tonight. We'll go through these maps quickly thanks to time constraints. Normal temperatures up here for the month of April. Precipitation should also be actually below normal, so April not shaping up badly. Looking ahead the next 90 days, which takes us through the end of June, it looks warmer than normal. Southern part of the state, up here in the county, probably close to normal, maybe a little above. Precipitation looks normal as well, so this would hope for an early spring and a pretty nice-looking spring, but these 30 and 90-day forecasts have a habit of falling apart sometimes. Weak storm system did trigger some showers and flurries. Cold spot in the nation was at Fort Kent, 8 degrees, while the hot spot was Harlingen, Texas, with 88. Tomorrow, high pressure to the rescue. We should have a good deal of sunshine. Temperatures again in the low to mid-40s, and that high pressure sticks around for Thursday. We should warm up a little bit. That weak front will just give us a few clouds. Forecast for tonight then shapes up like this. Variable clouds could be a flurry. Low temperature of 18 tomorrow. Mixture of sun and clouds. High of 43. Not bad tomorrow night either. Clear to partly cloudy and 23. Looking ahead to Thursday, or Wednesday that is. Variable clouds, high of 48. I think that should be Thursday. Now the extended forecast. Friday. Yes, I was right. That should have been Thursday. Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures stay in the 50s. Andy, the only time I think it could rain is on Saturday.
You went through that weather forecast just about as fast as Rainey goes through his sports.
Hey,
and that ain't easy. We got it all in. Thanks a lot, Kevin. That is our news for now. We will all be back at 11, and hope